Now we're going to look at the ghosting exercise, and this is a very important one because it's a technique that you're not just going to use here, but you're going to apply to literally every single mark you make from here on in. It's that valuable, and it's pretty straightforward. It does take some practice to get used to, but it's extremely useful. I actually took this exercise directly out of the hands of Scott Robertson. You should check out his stuff. You can Google him. He's got a YouTube channel. He's also got an excellent book called How to Draw, aptly named. It gets very technical, and in that sense, it's definitely goes off on a different tangent than Drawabox, where we focus primarily on being more organic and kind of understanding perspective on a more intuitive level. If you have any specific measurements or, perspective techniques that you want to learn, they're probably contained in this book. So ghosting is basically the idea where instead of drawing immediately, let's say this is like the surface of your page, and here's your pen. So instead of drawing directly on the page, which would just be like this, instead we are going to ghost, meaning drawing without touching the page. This helps you build up muscle memory for a mark that you intend to make before actually making it. And so I'm just going to save this pen for later. It's the way that I describe it, at least, is a multi-step process. It's got 3 different steps. First, you've got your piece of paper here. First, you want to figure out what kind of mark do I want to make. So let's say in this case we're doing a straight line. Straight line has a start point and an end point, so we actually literally mark those out on the paper. The reason that we do this is because committing to a line is kind of expensive. It makes a very significant mark on your page, whereas committing your planning stage with points instead can very easily be ignored. So let's say you put down your marks, your points, and you realize, wait, no, I didn't want to draw that line. I wanted to draw a different line over here. Then you can just leave the points there. We're working in ink, right? So you can't erase them, you can't get rid of them, but you can just leave them there, and in the context of the larger drawing with a lot more going on, those points will effectively disappear. So this can come in very handy when you're drawing in complex boxes and things, and you want to figure out how all your lines are going to interact with each other. Having your points down gives you a good starting point before you commit to anything. So we've put down our points. We know what line we want to draw. We want to draw it from here to here. Next, I want you to find a comfortable angle of approach. Now, what that means is we naturally are used to just drawing with the page directly in front of us. We don't have to draw that way. Let's say the line was going to be like just a straight line directly across in front of us. That's not optimal. And it's even worse if we're looking to draw a line that's leading directly away from us. That's a very uncomfortable line to draw. Instead, we can rotate our piece of paper so that we only really have to nail one direction, drawing in one particular direction. Rotate the whole world so every single line that you end up drawing is just that one line that you are very good at drawing. Now, some people might say this is cheating. They don't know what they're talking about, because there is no situation in this day and age that you need to be able to draw a line in any direction. Now, that said, that doesn't mean it's not a valuable skill to have, and it absolutely is. The point is that right now we are breaking off all the extraneous chunks of things that we need to think about while we're drawing so that we can focus on one thing at a time. By doing this, our mental capacity goes towards learning everything in isolation, or at least as much in isolation as we can. This allows us to digest it more easily, and we can worry about the rest of it later. And the great thing about rotating the page is that you actually learn to expand your the range of lines, like the angles at which that you can draw. It expands naturally. All you need to do is focus on rotating your page, and you'll find that over time, maybe you're just drawing in this direction. Over time, you'll find, well, maybe I can just draw this at this angle or this angle, and your natural laziness will cause you to kind of say, well, subconsciously, you'll decide, I don't want to rotate this page right now. I can just, it's close enough. I can hit it pretty well. And over time, it will expand. Now, what I don't want you to do is, because I said that, just forget about rotating the page altogether. If you think about it, oh, do I want to rotate this page? Rotate the page. The point is that eventually you'll come to a point where you will stop thinking about it. And that's when you will find that naturally your range has extended considerably. Anyways, I got off on a tangent there. So before I lose track of what I'm doing here, I'm just going to write things down. Step 1 is place your points. So your start and your end. Step 2, find a comfortable angle of approach. Kind of like a plane coming in for landing. It has an angle of approach. You're going to rotate that page to find where it's most comfortable for you to draw. Now, for most people that I've found, let's say this is your head. Got your shoulder here. With your pen. Most people will actually find it to be most comfortable to draw from your non-dominant side towards your dominant side and also away from your body. So which means a 45-degree angle away from your body. This is if you're right-handed, you're going from left to right and away. Sorry, I'm not sure what I just said. If you're right-handed, you're going from left to right and away from your body. If you're left-handed, you're doing the opposite. You're going from right to left and away from your body. So this is usually most comfortable. So most people will find that they will rotate their page so that if they are sitting like this, they are looking to draw the line kind of like that. So their arm their shoulder will rotate, or will pivot so that they will draw that line kind of across like this. I'm losing control of my layers a little bit. So once you've rotated that page to a comfortable angle, then you start ghosting. And what that means is you, like I said, you run your pen on top of the page without touching it. So it's like you're drawing, but you're never making contact. One thing that I always emphasize here is that when you're ghosting your line, ghost with all the enthusiasm you have in one direction. Meaning, don't do this back and forth equally. I want you to ghost enthusiastically in one direction, then lift your pen up, go back to the beginning, and then do it again. Lift, ghost, lift. The reason for this is that your line well, in the definition of what your line is, the direction matters. Going back and forth is going to dilute the kind of muscle memory that you're developing. Whereas going very specifically in one direction, lifting and then doing that again, kind of drives home that you want to draw this one specific line and your muscles get used to that motion. So that's step 3. So these 3 steps are basically how you prepare. I'm pretty sure I actually kind of wrote the steps out differently in the lesson. It's something like these comprise the first 2 steps, but whatever. Here you go. This is your preparation. And you do this for every single line that you draw. And once you finally feel confident in what you've kind of the muscle memory that you've built up, you then kind of without missing a beat. So let's say, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see my cursor. So let's say I was ghosting from here to here. Ghost, 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 ghost. Without missing a beat, I draw that line. I don't want to stop because I want to take the kind of rhythm that I've created to help me produce that line. Now you'll notice that I missed a little bit. That's fine. We want the most important thing, which is what I mentioned in the superimposed lines exercise, is that you want to maintain a consistent trajectory. You want to keep that line as smooth as you can. And I did a pretty good job of it here. And with practice, your accuracy will improve. Obviously, I am rusty. So that's the idea behind the ghosting method. Don't be afraid to rotate your page. I cannot stress this enough. I have so many students who just take it upon themselves to decide, you know what, no, I'm going to go ahead and do it my own way. Don't. Once you have completed the lessons and you understand where I'm coming from, then do whatever you want. But until then, it's super important that you follow my instructions to the letter. These are written this way for a reason.